Keep on rocking in the free world.
Yeah.
Keep on rocking in
Funny
the
you're
free
singing
world.
that song.
Oh,
I would assume you're privy to what's going
Keep
on
on
with
rocking
Joe
in the
Rogan
free
and Neil Diamond,
world.
right?
bro. It's Neil Young, man.
Neil Young.
It hurts me that you would dare confuse those two.
Diamond is Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, and like 1,000 other hits.
That's fair. That's fair.
Neil
Okay.
Young has one hit.
My bad.
One song. One song.
One song. So you know the Neil old. We're gonna call him old because he's old.
Fair enough, yeah.
Neil
He's
old.
like get the hell off my grass old.
Yeah. He basically told Joe Rogan, shit or get off the Spotify.
Oh, that's brilliant. And basically they were like, well,
Bye
then.
Felicia. You know what? Do you know what Neil Old said about our podcast?
no.
Kick it.
Well, hey, welcome to the FWD.
You can't even talk.
I'm Pastor Pinewood, and he's Beezy. Let's just do the thing, get it over with.
Just do the damn thing. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you, mate?
You know what's wrong with me.
I don't. Enlighten me.
You picked the beer for this week.
Yeah.
So you're at the store with all the options, and you didn't get me any IPAs.
Not a single one. I got you a mostly IPA.
We've been doing
mostly.
this coming up on 60 weeks,
I know.
and like
We've
one
done
time
Too
you got
many.
one time
We've
you
done
got me
too
an
many
IPA.
IPAs. Well, and the one that I got was an accidental.
What do you mean it was accident? Oh, that's true. It was an
That
accident.
fruited juice pack one. I was just caught up with all the colors.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm just kidding. We are happy that you are here, and we're glad to be here. I'm your humble host, Pastor Pinewood, and of course, as always, across from this wonderfully beautified space, Beezy.
Beezy.
I said it for you.
You did.
I was trying to help you out, my friend.
Beauty.
I tell you what, even though you didn't get any IPAs, I will say what you did get for today, and we'll reveal that here in just a little bit, looks pretty sporting.
Yeah.
It looks pretty tasty.
Sneaking suspicion. Not gonna like it.
For a couple reasons, you might be right about that. I tell you what, something else we need to talk about just real fast before we get off into the weeds is how fast was the Neil Young situation? Like, man, it blew up quick. Neil Young was like probably drunk one night. He sent a letter and he was like, I'm going to give them an ultimatum. It's either me or Rogan. And Spotify was like, okay.
We just paid $50 million for that guy. You're
like
uploading this shit for free, bro.
it's like 100 million too.
Well, yeah, it was.
Just freaking Neil Young. He's got what two really good songs.
I think Heart of Gold and
Yeah.
Rockin' in the Free World.
Yeah, I think there's one called Ohio. It was like an anthem song in the 70s and blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
nobody cares about Ohio anyways.
No one really cares. So it was just funny to me that he made the ultimatum, and then almost immediately Spotify was like, all right, bye then.
Get your shit and get out.
Yeah. And now there's a whole bunch of them kind of like jumping on the bandwagon, canceling their stuff.
Good.
So I kind of have a mixed feeling about it. I'm not for cancel culture.
Sure.
Businesses, you can do whatever you want. You know, I still rock my Carhartts because they make pretty good products. I don't care about the vaccine status. If it's a business between the business and their employees, there's no coercion. There's nobody forcing you to work there. So the people on the right, they do this too. But to say, look, you're a company that gives my music a platform. And because you give somebody else a platform, well, I'm going to take my toys and go home. It's just silly to me. It's silly. It's
pretty outrageous.
And I get it. People are upset, and they disagree politically. And I think we're nihilistic enough almost where I just don't care all that much.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Somebody else will play it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't like it. And what's really interesting is Joe Rogan's only on Spotify.
Yeah.
And Neil Young can go anywhere else he wants to go and not have to listen to Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. And Joe Rogan didn't have the option to do that. He's stuck on stock. Of course,
He's got a pretty hefty contract.
I was going to say, I'd like to have that deal. Don't get me wrong, but
I would not shoo that offer away.
No doubt. So I don't know, man. The whole thing sounds ridiculous, and I lost a lot of respect for Neil Young. I did not expect that out of him.
I didn't have a whole lot of respect for him.
I don't know if I did
just
either.
because I didn't really listen. He wasn't anybody that I really listened to.
Right. Me neither. And I don't know, when I was growing up and I kind of got into that classic rock, he wasn't one that I really gravitated
He
towards.
doesn't fall into the classic rock.
No, he's a little sappy.
Yeah.
And maybe he was a little political and a little melodramatic. And I would say I listened to Leonard Skinner, which had a beef with him for years.
Yeah.
He even made it into one of their songs.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I think Neil Young needs to just calm the French down.
Yep, I agree.
And so
Take shit or get off the Spotify.
well, we're rocking in the free world in the doghouse this week.
We are.
And we are happy to have the nice studio. Looks good in here.
I think so.
Happy to have some video. Hello out there to all the interwebs. And I know that the video will be around this time releasing, and we should have 3 videos now on YouTube that are actual videos. The first 2, Old Pinewood had some stuff to figure out as far as editing goes.
Yep.
And so you'll just work around it. It is what it is.
This is all a learning experience for everybody.
And so I had a great time learning it. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun to kind of just dive into it and figure it out. And I learned some new tricks. And the best part was that you have to get because we're using audio from another source. And so you have to pair them up. Well, one of the ways you do that is you take away the video or the audio, you mute it from the video, and then you add the other audio and you make it all like sync up, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I did that. The first one I did, I bet it took me 3 hours to get all the little clips done. And then I found out in Premiere Pro, which is what we use to do this, there is an auto sync feature.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I learned how to do it. Learned how to do it manually first, but
Hey, it's all about learning the back roads first.
I guess. So, anywho, it was a good time. And speaking of cameras, we are in the works of getting some new equipment.
Yeah.
So, one other camera, maybe 2. Another monitor for at the barn at the farm.
The barn at the farm.
And then also, what we need desperately is a video switcher.
Yep.
And that will allow 2 cameras or 3. Also, will allow a great ease in the editing.
In the
department.
audio.
Yes, so audio for sure, but the editing will be so much easier.
Yep.
So, in order to do that, we're counting on all of our Patreon folks.
Yes.
And you can go over to patreon.com/FWTG podcast. You can find us there. We've got 3 tiers. Don't bother with the first tier. I think we're going to get rid of that one. We're going to have 2 tiers. We'll have $5 or $20 a month, depending. You get a free podcast. No, it's not free. You get an additional podcast.
Well, you're paying for
it. Well, I mean, you're going to pay for it. You get some sweet discounts on the merch. And also, we're going to start doing some live stuff over there, too. So maybe some question and answers, that sort of thing. And I do want to give a shout-out to our new Patreon subscribers for this week, Aaron and Brianna. Two wonderful ladies gave us a podcast subscription, so we appreciate you guys. And that just allows all of our equipment to be upgraded when it's time and for us to just kind of grow gradually. And just so y'all know, all the Patreon subscribers, we haven't taken any money out of that yet. Not a dime. It's all still sitting there.
Sitting in the bank.
Yeah, Patreon's cashing in some interest,
Yeah.
on our poultry money in there. But we're going to get it out and start doing some things for the show. So we'll let you guys know all of that as it comes out. I do want to give one big shout out before we start to Eccentric Brewing in Midland, Texas. Thank you for all the support and the love.
Yes.
Man, we're excited about the sponsorship this year.
Speaking of,
yes,
it's Aaron's birthday.
Oh, that's one of the
Aaron Packelhofer.
He's the brewmaster.
One of the brewmasters over there at Eccentric.
Yeah.
And we just want to tell you, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, man. We'll have to do a little clip segment and send it to him.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. And then
Do
we'll
our
have
own little cameos?
Yeah, I think so. And then
You don't even have to pay for that
I
one.
was going to say, no. We're going to send it to him, and then we're going to charge him on the back end.
There you go.
So a
There you
couple
go.
days when it's not his
I like
birthday,
it.
he gets the bill. Yeah. And by the way, it's $500 for us to sing happy birthday to you.
Yes.
So, but we do moon you at the end of it, so
There is that.
There's always that. So we are excited to work with them for all year. We think is how that's
Yes.
going to play out. So we'll have a commercial recorded for them in the next couple of episodes, and so we're really excited. So thank you guys for checking them out, and thank you to Eccentric for trusting us, which I know was a big ask.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is. Now, let's get on to the episode by starting with something really cool that happened this past weekend with you and the producer.
Yeah. So we've been doing the podcast. We've uploaded everything to a new platform called Good Pods. And it's very podcaster centric. They really look to build the community through other podcasters.
Right.
And we just happened to get on with one of the guys who's pretty high ranking in the indie community.
I think that's what I like about it. The ranking system on there is very visible.
Yes.
So all your other hosts, some of them have ranking systems,
Yes.
but it's not overly accessible, I guess.
Right.
And these guys are small enough maybe that they can show everybody. It's really neat. I like it.
It is a super cool platform. Go over, download the Good Pods app.
Okay.
And then you can find us, and then you're going to want to check out That Damn Podcast. They are the ones that hosted their very first game night.
Okay, now this was for other podcast generators.
Yes.
Okay.
Other people that had podcasts, and he actually just tweeted out because they had one of their guys that's on their podcast wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
So they would just send out a tweet to see if any other podcasters wanted to jump in.
Okay.
So we jumped.
Nice. So y'all
And,
scooped up that opportunity.
Yeah, man, it was a blast. Old Dom over at That Damn Podcast, and then met some really cool folks. The Happy Hour Podcast is another one you want to go check out. And then the Designated Quizzers.
Nice.
All these guys are on Good Pods.
Okay.
Definitely want to check these guys out. And I think he said that they're going to try and do this once a month.
Cool.
Do a game night with podcasters. So we're definitely looking forward to doing that again.
All right, interesting.
Because that was hella fun.
Yeah.
So, and if you wanted to listen to it, if you want to listen to it, go to Good Pods and then look for That Damn Podcast. And then once you find that, it's their latest episode. I think it's bonus episode 1.
Correct. I think it's bonus episode 1, and then they call it the game night.
The game night, something like that, yeah. Yep. But no, that's where we were on Saturday evening, and man, me and the producer just had a blast.
Yeah, it sounded like a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Well, we missed you.
I'll definitely be on the next one. I had my own interesting sabbatical that evening, and I'll have to talk about that at another time because I got to get permission to talk about it, which is weird. So we'll in like legal permission. So anyway, we'll talk about it maybe the next episode. No, we're definitely going to do it in the next episode. I just got to get cleared, But another thing that I heard, now correct me if I'm wrong, but one of these top podcasts is trying to set a world record for the longest running podcast.
Yes.
And it was like 40 hours?
72 is what we're going for.
What? 72 hours straight.
72 hours straight podcast.
Okay. Now who's hosting this?
It's going to be Dom with That Damn Podcast.
Okay. So are we going to possibly be included in that?
Yeah. The details haven't quite been hashed out yet.
Right.
But he's basically, when we it was brought to our attention off air, it was going to be basically any podcast that wanted to jump in, they're going to basically kind of fill in a slot.
I see. Nice.
And just talk and do your own podcast on air, and
that's pretty sweet, man.
Just go for a world record.
That's pretty awesome. 72 hours is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, do you I hate to keep going, but did you know if it had to be live, if we're able to record segment and send it in?
I think it has to be live.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Because in my mind, I was like, well, if you just record it and send it in, that doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
We can put together 72 hours now. We just
we've
push them together.
We've got 72 hours already.
That's true. That's true. We got plenty of them. So anyway, I was just curious. All right. Well, anything else going on in the world right now we need to solve or fix or anything?
I think that's it for right now. Let's hop on that wagon.
Let's do it. Schoolboy loses both nipples after classroom dare involving 2 cans of Lynx body spray.
Hang on, I wasn't ready for that one. He lost his nipples?
He lost his nipples.
Both of them?
Apparently, a lad who was dared to spray 2 cans of Lynx body spray on his nipples was shocked to find that his nipples then fell off when another lad flicked them.
Oh my God.
If you're a boy growing up in the UK, you have undoubtedly seen all kinds of antics in the changing room. The Lynx on the nipple play is a classic one.
A bunch of wankers.
So he sprayed 2 full cans. So Lynx body spray is like Axe.
I guess like Axe.
Yeah, it's very similar. Probably made by similar folks, but it's UK, so they're not quite as cool as us. Can't have Axe.
Right.
You gotta have the Lynx. Anyway, so unnamed young man, because they didn't want to put it in the article.
Sure.
He was challenged by one of the other young men, and boys will be boys, and we're dumb at times.
He just blow.
Yep, and apparently it was 2 cans at the same time.
Oh.
So one on each
so
nipple.
one can per nip.
Yep, and he said at first it's just cold. It's not really a big deal. Then it starts to burn, and you're waiting for it to finish burning. And I kept telling myself it was fine, it's fine. And then the boy who was actually spraying it on my nipples, he flicked both of them at the same time, and his nipples fell off.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
That's hilarious. And what's hilarious, what's even better is he didn't go home.
What?
He stayed in
nurse.
He just stayed in school.
Holy
he just
crap.
went around his day like his nipples were still part of his body.
Sir, you're lactating blood.
He said a couple hours later, I'm sitting in German class and my nipples are now gone and I'm just chilling. And people are like, bro, your shirt is bleeding.
Oh, dude, that'd be brutal.
Yep, it's pretty
I couldn't
crazy.
imagine that because I mean, you think it's contents are under pressure,
Right.
So yeah, I know if you've ever tipped a can of duster or anything like that upside down and fired it, it's just icy cold.
Yep.
So I mean, to empty a can per nip,
Right.
holy shnikes. Yeah, I mean, it was frost nipped.
It was frosted. He explained that most people are astounded by his nippleless chest, but ultimately ends up laughing. He adds his girlfriend found it particularly funny. She sounds pretty cool. You know, roll with the punches, you know.
I guess so. Good grief.
So he closes. The last thing that they asked him, and he answers a bunch of questions, but the last thing he says was, I'm not trying to endorse it, but I don't necessarily have any regrets, and I would probably do it again.
Dang.
So I guess he's weird enough that he's like, well, now I don't got no nipples, so I'm even weirder. And he's like, that's a win, folks.
What to spray next? Let's fill my belly button up. I got an outie. I need an innie.
It reminds me of that old Jeff Foxworthy bit when he tells a story about the beaver biting off that dude's nipple. And he's like, not just bit it, bit it off.
Bit it off.
Woo, son. I can't
Good
imagine.
grief.
Well, for that amount of pain that's going on in my brain hole right now, how about we get off the wagon and do a little libations?
Let's do it. Libations.
What do we got, Beezy?
All right. We've got a repeat customer to the list. This is from Southern Star Brewing Company. They're in Conroe, Texas.
Okay.
That's down there in Texas.
That's down there in Texas.
And they have this interesting little banner at the top of this can. It says, first to can craft in Texas.
Okay, interesting.
So that's a pretty cool little deal.
Yeah.
But basically what we've got is Southern Star's Winter Warmer Winter Ale.
Okay.
It is 7%, and it's got an IBU of 40.
Man. Yikes, bro.
So
It's up there for you.
Yeah, it's way up there. The description that they got, if you want to check their website out, it's southernStarBrewing.com. And their description of the Winter Warmer is Winter Warmer. Pours ruby brown with a frothy tan head. The nose is toffee with a hint of spice. The flavor of this brew is sweet caramel and raisins. Ugh. With a pronounced
caramel. We should have practiced that. That wasn't very good.
That was terrible. Wah, wah, wah.
Keep on rocking. No, just kidding. All right, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. So, with a pronounced malty backbone, it finishes sweet with a earthy hop note.
Okay, a hop note. 40 IBUs is probably more of a note.
I was about to say, that's probably going to punch me in the face.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. So you didn't get an IPA, but you got pretty dang close.
It's pretty dang close. It is
an ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Well, shoot, man. Anything else on it, or are we ready to go?
that's what they got. It's a brief, but I guess it hits all the finer points that we need.
Sounds good. All right, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, it certainly smells good.
Cheers, my friend.
Clink it and drink it.
All right.
Everyone has their favorite, but one thing we agree.
Okay.
Okay. It's sweeter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, quite a bit sweeter.
So, winter ales a lot of times will have some sweeter notes, some spicy, not spicy, but spice notes, some sweet spice notes, kind of like you would find in a Christmas drink, something like that. This one's not so much. It's not an herby sweetness, but it is sweet.
Yeah,
Almost
that's probably
like
the toffee.
Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't get a hint of spice,
No.
but I think maybe the bitter note that I'm getting kind of in the middle on the back is maybe the raisins, because it
Maybe.
is kind of a funky bitter. It's not. It definitely doesn't have a 40 IBU feel.
Right. I would not have guessed that.
Which
for
is
sure.
okay with me. It's a very interesting flavored beer. Like, it hits you really strong in the front, being super sweet, and then you get that funky aftertaste.
Yeah. Raisins are weird.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm not a big fan of raisins, but raisins are pretty sweet. And so if you got raisins and toffee, you're already fairly sweet. And if you're trying to balance that with some hops or whatever they use for the bitters, I don't know, man. It's a strange beverage. It's a strange beer.
Like the initial punch tastes like, and go with me on this, it tastes like a convenience store Coca-Cola, and they didn't put any carbonation in straight syrup.
It's just right. Well, I was going to say that before you said toffee. You kind of I got thrown by that because that's true, but it tastes like syrupy sweet.
Yeah,
And I don't know, man. Like that's not really my thing.
not my game, man.
And it's not crisp. You know, a lot of winter ales have a kind of a crisp taste to them.
Sure.
And that one doesn't. It almost tastes like you said, like
flat Coke.
yeah, like low carb, not low carb, but low carbonation.
Low carbonation.
So I don't know. I don't hate it.
I'm for against
I'm
it.
for against it. I'm thinking no with kind of a yesy aftertaste. That's a brilliant movie and a
Yes.
brilliant scene.
Yes.
Okay, so man, I don't know. So if I saw this again, I'm not sure I'd buy it.
I think I'm with you. I don't. It doesn't have that come back and drinkability.
Right? That's true. Maybe it'll change a little bit as it warms. Maybe
It could, because
but
they're
typically,
probably in the 45-ish range right now, temperature-wise.
man, as it warms, it gets more syrupy.
That, or for me, they get hoppier.
Well, I don't think you're going to get any of that. I really don't. 'Cause
I'm okay with that.
I know you are. I'd like to have some. I'd like to have some of that kind of more hit you in the face bitter, especially towards the back, if they could do that. I don't know. It's okay. I would be curious. They make the claim first to can craft beer in Texas.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know what beer that was.
We've
first?
done a couple of their beers. We
Okay.
did
I just
the
remember the
strawberry blonde, and then we
Okay.
did the berried hatchet stout.
Oh, really?
Now the berried hatchet stout, that one,
yeah.
that one was a
really
winner.
good.
That one was good.
Okay.
The blonde, strawberry blonde, was not the greatest.
Right. Wasn't as bad as the Carbach.
Yeah,
But it wasn't great.
Yeah, that's no joke. But I mean, as they've got quite a few of them at the grocery store that I picked it up at, so we might see them again. But
All right. Fair enough.
as for your rating on this one, where are you sitting?
Because of the sweetness, and if you like sweet, it may not be a big deal to you, but for me, I'm going to put it down there about 71.
71, huh? Okay.
So it's passing. It's acceptable. It does tastes like a craft beer, which is nice.
yeah.
So there's that. But it just doesn't hit all the boxes for me.
See, I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with a 69
Of course you do, you weirdo.
because I don't know that I would buy it again unless there was no beer selection, and that was it.
and I can't think of something to pair it with. Like some beers, you're just like, oh, they'd go great with this or with that. Or I use, the hot afternoon after you mow the grass. I use that a bunch. I can't think of a pairing for it or a situation where that's just like, oh, that's exactly what that needs. So I don't know. I'd get it if my only other choice was 30 domestics. But I don't know. Pretty sweet.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of a letdown.
It was, but I mean, it's still technically passing.
I'll keep sipping on it. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm going to drink the whole thing.
No, of course you are. But, yeah, I don't know.
That's what I do.
Maybe we'll revisit it.
We could.
You want to do a little questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Say, let me ask you something.
So if you're watching this and not listening to it, through a podcasting host, if you're watching this on YouTube
Or Good Pods.
no, you can't watch it. You can only listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're watching on the video, you'll notice that Pinewood often forgets which button is which, even though we've been doing this for almost 60 weeks and they're labeled. I still doubt myself.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of lag in there if you're watching.
It's fun.
I edit all that out whenever for people who are just listening.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we got video, there's no hiding.
No hiding it.
Anyway, y'all will get to see more and more how much of an idiot old Pinewood can be. All right, question number uno. Beezy's got the table, so have at it, sir.
Now, I want you to prepare your financial mind.
Ooh.
Dig in to your Ramsey roots.
Bro, I am a solid thousandaire. I'm ready for this.
Beautiful. Okay. So Brandon Ross asks, what would happen if we just raised the value of money but didn't change the amount people had? For example, you have $200,000. You still have $200,000, but now every dollar is worth $100. What will you do?
Well, first, I think Brandon and I need to sit down and talk about this thing we call economics, and how also we should probably talk about the Federal Reserve. And
Well,
how
the one
this
thing
is,
that I'm
this is
curious
not going to happen.
is he's not very much of a mathematician anyways, because to say 200,000 now it's 100, well, that's 20 million.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, you'd be sitting all right if you had 200,000, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, that spends like 20 million.
Oh, that's $20 million. Good grief.
Yeah, so you're doing okay. You're doing something right.
Right?
So the problem that you have is inflation of your dollars. So we got off the gold standard. So that means there's nothing backing our currency. For a long time, we had enough gold in Fort Knox and a couple other places to back our dollars.
Right.
And if you see the old dollars, they will say silver-backed or gold-backed on the actual dollar. And
Really?
So, yes, the old, even the old just regular dollars on the top of the bill, they actually say a silver dollar backed by U.S. silver or something like that.
Is that hiding behind the...
No, it's right on the front of the dollar.
hiding behind the Illuminati pyramids?
Oh, no. No, there's more sinister things hiding behind there. But you got to have a magnifying glass to look at those.
Gotcha.
But, so the higher denominations, your 10s and 20s, 50s, 100s, 1,000, 10,000, even I think a couple of $1 million bills were printed.
What?
If you think about it.
I wonder what $1 million bill would be worth today.
Well, I can tell you that
$950,000.
just monetarily speaking, $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah. But so let me get back to my point. But before I do that, $1,000 bill now that's in good shape will go as much as $4,000 to $5,000 depending on how rare it is. So you can still find them, and they're in collector shops and blah blah blah. So anyway, so the backing of the dollar, and you really maybe miss my point here.
Yes.
Okay, so Goldback, $10, $20 and up, they were backed by physical gold.
Right.
All right, so you have a gold backing. Now, what that does to your currency is it keeps it super stable because you have this asset. Well, when you strip the asset out, now there's nothing backing your fiat currency. So now everything's dependent upon market fluctuations. It's definitely not paper, unfortunately.
Cotton.
If we could back it with anything, it'd be nice. But so the Fed comes in, set interest rates, and then the free market goes. Also, remember the world market. That's a huge. People use the dollar to buy in other countries because it's powerful, but it's becoming less and less powerful. And the thing you're dealing with is inflation,
Right.
not deflation. So he's talking about deflation, which is where your currency that you have, this dollar bill that you're carrying, actually is worth more over a certain period of time because of the deflation of money in a global economy. Our money does the opposite. Our money inflates. It has inflation. And so every year, approximately 3.6, 3.8%, your money is losing its value. That's why whenever you invest, you want to really yield more than 6%. Because if you don't yield 6%, you're just barely keeping up with inflation. Sure. You want that 8 to 10 to 12 if you can. That's really where the sweet spot is.
I like 15.
Oh, yeah, me too. 15, 20, 30. Yeah, that's good stuff. So he doesn't understand, anything about economics. Money. Now, it's a good idea, and it makes sense in theory, but it's not going to happen.
That's how you instantaneously tank a currency.
Yeah. Deflation has happened, and it can happen when the dollar becomes more becomes in more of a demand overseas in other countries, and our dollar will actually go up in value. But it rarely happens. I don't think it's ever happened on a year-to-year basis in the country, like domestically. I don't think.
So I'm still waiting on the Iraqi dinar.
Yeah, wait. I tell you what, if instead of buying those, instead of that, we would have done Bitcoin, we would be sitting pretty right now. But those big bills in the old days where they would print, there's not very many they ever printed, but they printed some $1 million bills. And the reason was there was no way to transfer mass amounts of money between banks. So people weren't walking around with $1 million bills, but banks had them.
I bet you the Rockefellers got a couple of them.
May have. But that's how they did that, because they had to work in cash.
Right.
So they were talking about bringing back $1 trillion coin to do something similar on the government level during the Obama years. And so what they would do is they would print these coins that were worth $1 trillion.
You know, it's be more frustrating than anything.
What?
You know, in the movies, you see a briefcase full of $1 million,
right?
And then you just open it up, and there's one damn coin in there, or one.
It's got Obama's face on it.
Bill. What the hell's this? I wonder. Give me some ones. I'm gonna go to a titty bar after this.
That is hilarious. Can you imagine if you open it and it's one bill and it's got Bill Clinton on the front of it doing just like this?
It's a holograph.
Like,
You move it and it shakes.
Oh, that's good, man.
Stuff.
All right, I'm thinking of a parody movie we could make.
Yep.
Make that happen. Maybe he actually moves, like he does this with his finger. He's smoking a cigar, or he's got Monica Lewinsky behind him.
And then she just disappears.
Oh no!
Hey-o.
Oh no! I figured you were going to go somewhere with that bad.
Yep.
But, and you don't disappoint, sir.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're there for. All right. Question number 2 today. This comes from Tom, and
Is it a Tom?
we'll see here in just a second when you hear the question. I wanted to see if. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, does anyone know if it's possible to use a background on my computer that would essentially turn the monitor into a mirror? Scanning a mirror doesn't work. Now, before we get to the actual question of whether or not it's possible, can you imagine your mental prowess allows you to scan a mirror, thinking I can put that image on my computer, and therefore my computer will then turn into a mirror?
I scanned the mirror. I emailed it to me. I opened it. I saved the JPEG, and I set as background. And it's not a mirror.
It's almost like it's just a picture of a mirror.
It's ridiculous.
It does nothing. I cropped it and everything, and it does nothing.
That's stupid.
All right, it's hilarious.
That is a Todd Tom question.
Pretty
if I
much.
ever heard one.
Yep.
I
do like the fact that somebody scanned a mirror. That's pretty good.
That's priceless.
Yep.
Of course, it's going to be really bright because when them scanners go, it just does that bright light.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be. I wonder if that messed with the resolution or anything on his computer when he saved it.
Who knows? He may have done messed up.
He just fried his computer. It's
all right.
too bright.
So obviously that's not going to work. Do you think there's any way to make your computer screen mirrored finished, where it actually shoots you back some images? How?
Buy a brand new monitor because they use glass screens and then turn it off. Mirror.
Interesting.
Like the TV that we've got sitting over there.
Right.
I mean, it's
that.
An old one.
Right. It's got
it's
mirrored.
It's mirrorish.
So mirrored finish. So
yeah.
Instead of saving your backdrop as the mirror, you just turn your computer off.
Close your screen. Just shut it down.
Okay.
And then why would you need a mirror anyways?
Maybe he's really concerned about how he looks, and so when he's click clacking and working, he can constantly be checking himself out. Or you could go a better route. You could just turn on your webcam. That's a mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same principle.
That's exactly what it is.
You just kind of pull it over here to the left in one of your little side panels, and there you got your mirror. Don't have to scan a mirror or nothing.
Don't got to scan nothings. And then you can see your ugly mug the whole time.
Yeah, you don't even have to save a JPEG or do any of that.
Or ruin printers and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I can't believe he scanned a mirror.
I need some photo evidence that this happened.
Yeah,
that would be
agreed.
pretty good.
I want to see what the scan looked like.
I imagine it was a picture of a mirror.
I bet it was just a picture of white.
You think
just a white picture
why just a white picture?
because of the light.
The light of
It's
what?
the light from the scanner.
Oh, I see. Think it would
just-
hit the mirror.
It hit reflected.
Reflected. I like that. All right.
It refracted
Okay.
off of the mirror.
I see.
And yeah, I'm glad you turned that off because
Yeah, bro. It's getting
I'm sweating.
every once in a while. Like
Nice.
I'll get a little
Just waves
chill
of
and I'm
heat.
like, oh, I can turn this on, and then it's like, oh, my butt is on fire, man. This is hot down here. We're gonna be wanting some heat here pretty quick. I think it's coming up.
The cold front blowing in next couple of days.
Yeah,
So
tomorrow
should be fun.
evening, I think, should be fun. All right, man. Let's get out of here. Let's do a little thinky blinders.
Cute. Thank you, Blindness.
I thought you were gonna grab your nipple. Like I saw that.
Flick my nipple off.
Flip the nip. Right off.
Right off.
All right, I've got a pretty decent one.
Pretty decent.
Yep, and what's funny about it is it's not really a Beezy specific question.
Okay.
But it will be a good one for us to kind of banter about a little bit.
I like it already.
All right, is it possible that there were aliens, or sorry, is it possible that we're the aliens? And it's just been so long since we've landed that we've forgotten about it.
Oh, dude.
That's a good question.
Oh, I love it.
Maybe Adam and Eve. Maybe that was the names of the two ships that actually
The
hit.
Adam and the Eve.
Yeah, and they actually landed somewhere.
No, they crash landed, and that's what killed the dinosaurs.
That's pretty good.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so-
yeah, and then we invented booze and forgot how we built the pyramids. And then
And where we parked the spaceships.
Oh, dude. So you've seen Idiocracy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're heading ever towards Idiocracy number 2, and we've already had one. And then we rebuilt society
Nice.
after the pyramids and everything.
Okay. So we're just looking at a repeat.
Yep.
Gotcha.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, apparently so. That's funny if this was the escape planet. Like finally, they've been looking for thousands of years. They finally found Earth in the Milky Way, and it's the Goldilocks zone. They're going to come down to see if it has life. And there's some big ass lizards down there. We got to do something about that.
Crash land.
But we can totally take care of those lizards. And so and that's how they got the lizard Illuminati, because they made friends with a couple of them.
Oh,
And
shit.
the lizards were like, "Look, this is how you do it. This is how you live."
This is how you prosper, and everything is going to be fun.
What if the lizards were actually the highly advanced society civilization, and the humans were escaping from another planet, and we've got everything twisted? They taught us how to do everything, and then there was like some sort of crazy intergalactic war, and we killed all the lizards off.
Oh, except a few of them because
Except
they
a few.
went
Correct.
underground.
Right. Yeah.
Under the Denver airport.
Yeah. Them and the mole people under the Denver airport. So you got a couple of them flying around up in space, the space lizards.
Yep,
Then
yep.
you got under the Denver airport. Then you also have in the firmament, whatever the world that is.
Who?
The firmament.
Firmaments?
Yeah, firmament. That's the little barrier between the flat Earth and the universe. That's the barrier.
Ah, interesting. That makes sense. Science doesn't check out on that one.
Also, the lizards probably couldn't live on the ice wall. I think it's too cold.
Well, yeah, they are cold-blooded? Warm-blooded?
They're cold-blooded. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They have to
can't-
warm themselves.
Yeah.
Did
Unless
you see that story where the iguanas in Florida are falling out of trees? Can you just be walking around
So-
and an iguana falls on you out of a tree?
It's a legit thing, man.
No, it's crazy.
So when I lived in Florida, and actually my dad and stepmom went to Key West several years ago, and that's what they said, that there was so many freaking iguanas. But what happens is, since Florida is actually getting a cold snap right now,
Right, yeah.
they're cold-blooded creatures. They can't regulate that temperature, so they're just like, shit.
The tree. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I can't imagine that situation. Like that's a funky situation to be in.
It's definitely something for the books.
It's like an iguana hit me in the face. A what? An iguana?
An iguana?
Yeah, he fell out of the tree, man.
It's raining iguanas.
And then he just laid there. It's like he's playing dead
So
or
I
something.
picked him up and we skinned him.
We skinned him. It's like, bro, that thing was alive the whole time.
Best damn iguana I ever ate.
I mean, like,
Food's literally dropping from the skies.
it'd be funny if that was God's curse, and all the Cajuns was like, "Well, that's freaking lunch, bro."
Yeah, bring that over here. Put a little boo down sauce on there. Will be good go right there. A little Cajun season, a little crab ball.
Oh my goodness! All right, so y'all can weigh in on these thinky blinders. Is it possible that we're the aliens, and it's just been so long that we've forgotten, and we're about to do it again? About to screw this Earth up enough, or we're gonna have to go find another one.
Yes,
We're gonna run out of planets before too long.
Idiocracy Stage 2.
Nice.
Mark 2.
Oh, beauty, like it.
Yeah. All right, you ready for yours?
Do it.
Aside from Morgan Freeman, if you could choose someone to narrate your life, who would it be?
Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh my god! No.
Heck yeah, bro. That'd be awesome. And it has to be like peak '90s Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh Lord have
He,
mercy.
like the voice he uses for Iago in Aladdin.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Now, is this a narrator that's just going to be like following me around and narrating my life, or somebody who's going to do a story of my life?
I think it's let's do it as a story.
Okay.
It's the audio book of Pastor Pinewood.
Gotcha. Okay, if Godfrey's not available, so if that's not going to happen.
Our story begins.
Well, it's funny if you break it down, it really sounds like a really angry old Jewish man. Like that's what it sounds like.
Isn't he an old Jewish man anyways?
He is now. He is now. But what's great, I love that man to death. He's been on Joe Rogan a couple times, and then he has something else he does. It may be Instagram. I can't remember, but he's super humble. He's super nice. His family's great, and he's getting on up there. He's pretty paltry looking, and kind of getting closer to that doorstep, I guess, if you would. But one of the great things is that voice, even though it's gone away a little bit, it's still right
still catch
there.
it.
Yeah, I really like that. So it's either him or Bobcat.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
And again, he has to do the character.
Yeah, it has to be
for
from
sure.
Police Academy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
dude.
those-
And his
what if those
stand-up
two
is actually pretty good.
What if those two traded off like every other chapter? Whenever there were scenes in the documentary about us, they'd play each one of them will play each one of us,
Or
so they could talk back to each
here
other.
we go. Okay, so your biography, anytime you say something, it's in red text.
Oh, nice.
And Bobcat reads that. And then you have Gilbert Godfrey
reading the other.
reads the black text.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious. So you mentioned his Bobcat stand-up's really good.
Yeah, it really is.
What's sad about that is his character was so universal that it almost defined him to a point where he couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants him to do the voice. And it's like, hey, man.
It's like Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
He has to go out there and smash a melon.
Yep.
And yell. No, that was
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Yep, one
But
and two.
Sam Kinison's the same way.
Yeah,
he
had
was
to
just,
yell.
I say, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But he was, man, it was just punch you in the face and yell the entire show.
And I tell you, Kinnison's one of those that I feel like this way with Bert Kreischer as well, that outside of his comedy in normal everyday life, when you're famous, people want you to be that entity. So when Kreischer goes out, when Kinnison went out, well, they want Kinnison.
Yeah.
They want the machine. They want to live up to that onstage persona. And I think it killed Kinnison. Because I think every time he went out, they were like,
They're like, let's do some rails.
come do some lines with us, come do shots with us or whatever. And, he's yelling at everybody and he's trying to do the thing. He really only has 2 great stand-ups. He's got like 8 albums.
Yeah.
But they're not good. He drops off because Rogan talks about it quite a bit. He started partying a bunch. He was doing a lot of cocaine. He wasn't sleeping and he wasn't writing. He wasn't doing anything creative.
Yeah.
He's just living on the first 2 albums. Now Kreischer's not to that point, but I feel like
it's the same with Daniel Whitney,
I don't know who that is.
Larry the Cable Guy.
There you go. See, I don't know who that is.
He is defined by Larry the Cable Guy.
Yep, agreed.
And
in
doesn't even sound like that in real life.
That's true.
He sounds like a normal person.
Yeah, in his movies, I think he's done 2 that's not the Cable Guy. It's his own persona, I guess.
Right.
You barely recognize him. So
It's not as good.
right.
Of course, All those movies, anyways, weren't that great anyhow.
They're pretty bad. Pretty bad. I don't know, man. It's really difficult as a young comedian, and you hit it big, and you have a wonderful kind of breakout album. I think you need to come back and follow it with another one fast.
Sure.
Like the next year, get you another one knocked out. Because if you just ride the fame of that first one, it happens all the time. It just tanks after that.
Yeah.
And you see the comedians that are really disciplined, that put out album after album that are great. And they stay great, I think, because they're devoted to the creative process.
Yeah.
And they don't get lost in the fame and the partying and all that. And that's got to be tough, man.
Yeah.
That'd be really hard. So if you're somebody like Tom Segura that, just skyrocketed, but he's devoted to the creative side.
Yeah.
And all of his stand-up albums are great.
They're great.
Fantastic.
Every one of them.
I think I could rank them, tell which one's my favorite.
Yeah.
But they're all good. Bill Burr, almost all good, minus the one political one. It's a little...
Yeah, that one was kind of rough.
It's like, okay, guy, we get it.
We get it. Move on.
But I don't know, man. So Bill Cosby, you say whatever you want about his personal life, but his stand-up comedy
was good.
Oh, my gosh. And every album is phenomenal. George Carlin, how many albums did he have? 20-something?
Yeah,
And they're
a
all
ton.
really good. Lewis Black?
See,
dude, you don't like Lewis Black?
He has a couple of moments where
right.
I'm like, man, that is just a banger.
Right.
And then it just reverts right back into his political comedy is just,
Yeah, it's kind of his
boring.
thing.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of his thing. I always figured that's who I wanted to be when I grow up. Like when I'm an
Lewis
old
Black?
man, I want to be grumpy and yell at folks
I
and
can see that.
do the fingers.
You're already there.
I'm working on it.
You're already
I'm
there.
working on it, man. So yeah, good stuff. All right, brother, you ready to go Passion of the Heathen?
You didn't even want to hear who I wanted to have narrate me?
Of course I do. I just didn't think about it.
So I was going to resurrect Robin Williams, but I want it to be written by Quentin Tarantino.
You're so dumb.
The Pastor and the Heathen.
Woo, out of tune trumpets.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm glad we only have to listen to it once a week because this is pretty rough. All right, so we're rocking the questions from the Merch Mogul.
The Merch Mogul.
Last couple of weeks, and then I think we'll do this week and maybe one more because she sent in quite a few great questions.
She sent in a bevy.
She really did, and they're pretty good.
They're all really good.
Okay.
So
what we'll do is you can kind of give your opinion, and then I'll opine for a moment, and then we'll do some updates and get out of here.
beautiful.
All right, so the question is, if God knows everything, and everything happens for a purpose or a reason, etc., what is the point of praying? Will he change his mind on something just because we asked him to?
Yes, because he's a fickle, fickle God.
A what?
A fickle, fickle God.
Fickle God. I don't remember reading that in my Bible anyway, that he's fickle.
It was Lamentations.
Lamentations. Second Hesitations.
Second
7:14.
38:1.
A fickle God. I haven't heard that before. That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, he's kind of like got all that bitchy preteen angst.
Did you just call God bitchy?
I mean, not per se. I don't want to be smited, smittens.
That's pretty good. I think we're past that. Like if he was going to do it, he's had plenty of opportunity to done did it.
I mean, but he already. I see where this question's coming from because he already knows everything.
Right.
He's omnipotent.
Right, or omniscient, yes.
Is that really how you say that word?
Well, so there's two.
Oh, okay.
So omnipotent and omniscient.
Oh, okay.
So you're good.
I thought I was saying it wrong. I was like, hey, hell, I've been saying it like that for years.
Yep. No, you're just fine.
All
You're
right,
just fine.
sweet.
Yeah.
So he knows everything. He knows the outcomes of everything.
Right.
It's just, hey, you already knew I was going to do it. Gotcha.
Okay.
I'll catch you on the next one, and then I probably won't do that one either
That's fair.
because you know it.
Yeah, you already know it,
You're
right?
already in my head.
You already got me, boy.
Yeah, you got me. Hey, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
So let's go about it two ways. Let's go about it, number one, that way.
Okay.
That he already knows everything. It's already going to happen. It's predestined or whatever. And our prayer is not going to necessarily change his mind. If that's true, we should still pray because it's good for us.
Allegedly.
I think it is. Everything in Scripture that he gives is not necessarily to punish. It's not to punish. It's for our good. And so when we pray, that's meditation. That's taking time to be quiet and to focus on things. I mean, you see this in every religion. You see this in Eastern religions. You see this in yoga practices. It's the same principle. Meditation's good, and it's good for you. So I think we should still pray regardless of if he knows everything or if he'll change his mind.
I pray a lot
No, you don't.
when I'm driving.
That's called cursing, sir.
Tomato, potato.
Technically, a curse is kind of a prayer. You're asking him to, smite the drivers around you.
Just, God, can you send down a fireball to kill this dumb bitch on her phone?
Fireball. So, even if that is true, and you kind of play the gotcha card, and God's like, yeah, well, it's still good for you, so do it. So pray.
Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Now, let me go the other route, which
Okay.
is, what if he does change his mind?
Then, yeah,
Okay.
pray hard. That's
Pray
how your
hard.
sports team's going to win.
All right. So, about 18 times in Scripture, we see some sort of circumstance where God does change his mind.
Yeah, didn't he change his mind when he told Moses to kill his boy?
Not Moses, but yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That one dude.
It was Abram, which would have
Whatever.
been Abraham
Abraham.
and Isaac.
Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah, so he goes up
He's
there.
like, them's jokes. Them's jokes, sucker.
It's one of the strangest stories in Scripture, right? He goes up to the mountain. He puts his boy on the altar, on the rock out there in the forest or
Right,
whatever, on
right.
the mountain, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to do it. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it."
Please don't make me kill my boy.
And in a dramatic fashion, I can just see it. He's almost like he's in the downstroke, like about to kill him. And the angel shows up. He's like, "Whoa, guy, whoa."
Oh, shit, bro.
We were halfway joking. We didn't know if you'd actually do it.
God was sitting up there with the other pantheons.
Yeah, with the pantheon of the other gods.
The other pantheons and Buddha. He's like, oh shit, Buddha, he's actually going to do it?
I told you this is our guy.
This-
I told you
this guy's legit.
guy.
His starting quarterback right here, buddy.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, so wonderful point. So you can make the argument that that's not God changing his mind. He just knew that was what was going to happen. But, it seems wishy-washy, right? So a couple times in Amos, in Exodus, in Jeremiah.
Anus.
Nope, not that. Not that. Easy there. So you can look up several places in the Old Testament
Is
where he
Amos
changes.
a Bible chapter?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a book of the Bible. He was a minor prophet. Prophet in the Old Testament.
Like a gold miner?
Nope.
I don't recall Amos.
Yeah, Amos.
From Bible study.
Yeah, it's in there. It's a small book, like 4 chapters. So very, very small. But
I might have to crack my book open.
there's a couple of those you probably hadn't heard of. There's Jude, that's one page.
Yeah, I knew Jude Law.
There's Obadiah, that's a
Yeah.
page. And there's Amos, and then there's a whole bunch of quote-unquote minor prophets.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, the most notable example I would give,
Potent and notable?
yes, is Christ, actually, in the New Testament.
Oh, Jesus himself.
Yeah. What does Christ do the night before he's crucified?
He's God.
That's exactly what he does. I hope he didn't sound like that. It's like, what's the fiddler on the roof doing out there praying in the Garden of Gethsemane?
Daddy, can you hear me? Is that what the...
Did you just put words into I want to build a snowman? Well, he knows all.
L'chaim, can you hear me?
Dude, that's really funny. Wouldn't it be great if God got earworms from songs that were made like years in
you
the
already wrote 'em.
future? That's what I'm saying. Like back in Jesus' day, Jesus just walking around humming, do you want to build a snowman? Or
I'm pretty sure they didn't have snow back then.
what if Jesus walking around whistling all about that bass whenever... and the disciples like, hey man, that's kind of catchy.
That's
What
a
is
catchy
that?
tune, man. We should start a garage band. Jesus, you're a carpenter. Can you throw us up a shed? Oh,
Oh, that's pretty good. Anyway, I got so far into that, I lost my train of thought. But it's great because he prays and he asks God if there's any way
God.
that it doesn't. It's your fault. I get sidetracked. If there's any way you can take this cup from me, do it. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is a bad idea. I know we've been planning this from the beginning of civilization, but I'm not digging it right now. At the time, sounded like a good idea. Right now,
send me down here to die for everybody's.
right? I thought, okay, we can do
I've
that.
met most people
Right.
in this town, not even everybody,
Right.
and there's some assholes.
I'm just
I
gonna
don't know. I
tell
don't
you
know that I
something.
want to take everybody's sin.
There's a couple of those folks. They deserve what they're getting.
They
anyway.
can pray all they want. It doesn't matter.
It's true. So Jesus prays to God for him to change his mind. So I'm not saying it can or can't, one way or the other. I'm not really going to make an opinion on that. I'm going to say you should pray regardless because it's good for you. If it does change God's mind, Jesus thinks that it's a possibility. So I don't know.
He gave it a holler.
If God can change his mind, does that make him less omniscient? Or does he know he's going to change his mind? And if he knows he's going to change his mind, did he actually change his mind?
That's kind of like the rock question.
It is. Now we're getting into some weird
the
philosophical conundrums. So anyway, it's a great question, but I'm gonna stick with it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you should pray anyway. And God did change his mind several times in the scripture, and Jesus thought it was possible.
I'm going to say, go ahead and pray.
Okay. It's a good answer.
Because that's the only way your sports team's going to win. You better pray harder than the other fans.
Yeah. There you go.
Because, anywho,
All right. So I will say the sports example and also the movie folks accepting their Academy Awards. Man, those two examples for me are
I want to thank God.
it's like, bro, we saw you doing cocaine off a stripper's butt 2 nights ago. What are you talking about? That's pretty good.
I prayed for forgiveness.
Pray for forgiveness, it said. I appreciate him looking out. Sue me.
Yeah, the cocaine was good. It wasn't even tainted.
All right, man, let's do some updates and get out of here.
Cool. I got some news updates for you today.
I feel like we need to do some updates so I would not blaspheme because we were getting awfully close there towards the end,
Yeah.
which is good. You know, it's fun. It's good.
It's the whole purpose of the segment.
All right, so interestingly enough, updates for this week, we're gonna tag team a little bit.
Ooh.
So have at it.
Hope you got your prayer cap on.
I got it. Got it.
So, first off, we want to thank Good Pods. That's a great platform.
Yep.
And then we also want to give a shout out to That Damn Podcast, Happy Hour Podcast, and the Designated Quizzers. We
a
had a
great
blast.
name.
I know. So they do a quiz show.
Okay.
And
What does that mean, a quiz show?
Well, they just do questions and such.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
you should check it out.
I will.
It's really good.
Check it
Go
out
to,
this week.
Go to Good Pods.
Okay.
You can find all 3 of them there. While you're there, might as well subscribe to ours.
Yep. Please do. And by the way, if you're on Good Pods, every episode that you listen to, you can rate.
That's correct.
And so that's a nice feature, and it makes us bump up in the charts a little
Yes.
bit, which is kind of nice.
because
So-
we're moving on up them charts.
yeah,
and it's
cue
a
the
lot of
Jeffersons.
fun.
It's good stuff. So go over there and do that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. The next, I want to give a shout out to Brandon Chandler.
Yeah. Woo.
So Brandon Chandler has a company called BMC Designs, and he has designed 2 of the shirts that are up and coming.
Yes.
So should we give him a little?
Well, I will say they're both pretty awesome.
Yes.
And no, I think we'll just leave it at that.
Okay,
They're
just
great.
leave it at that.
And as soon as they drop,
Beautifully awesome designs. So if you guys have anything that you need done, he does all sorts of stuff. He does some kick-ass designs. He does logos for shirts, business cards, and he even does web design.
okay.
So you can give him a shout. His number is 432-413-0707, or you can send him an email to bmcdesigns512@gmail.com.
Beauty.
And tell him that we sent you.
Yep. Tell him that we sent you, and we will have his information in the description
Yes.
under the episode. So make sure that you take a look down there. You can click on that, send him an email.
Yes.
All right. You good?
I'm good. Take
You
it.
got all your stuff out of the way.
Take the wheel.
Okay, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. I hope when people pray, Jesus, take the wheel, they don't do that on the freeway. Yeah, it's bad.
I know there's quite a few people that I see. I'm pretty sure do that.
Jesus is like,
take the wheel.
Jesus is like, I didn't mean literally.
Jesus, get your hands on the wheel.
That's pretty good. All right. So you said all the things about Good Pods, so I won't go over that again. Don't forget Patreon. We just released the most recent Hidden Revival with video.
Yes.
And so you can see our bright, shining, smiling faces on there. So that's a win. Probably not for y'all to have to watch it, but, it's there. So go over there and check us out. We greatly appreciate it. So everything that you can do to help us, man, I just can't tell you how much it means that you guys subscribe at all. And we only need like 10,000 more subscribers.
We're not asking for much. We're praying about it.
Or I'll take one whale that just gives 20,000 a month.
It just front loads the whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. 20,000 a month the next 5 years. I mean, I'd take it.
Investors?
Yeah,
Possibly you.
So, them's jokes, folks. But we do appreciate the help and the support. And don't forget Eccentric Brewing. If you're in Midland, go down there and check them guys out at their brewery location. And I wish I had it pulled up or I would give that address right now, but I don't because I suck.
You're terrible,
what you can do is you can go over to Facebook and search Eccentric Brewing, and they'll pop up. I think they're the first ones, of course. And then also eccentricbrewingco.com. Yep. Go check those guys out. And we are going to be doing some episode recording there later on this year.
You look like you're having a hard time.
Had a little burp action coming up in here. So in the past, I could go back and edit that. And
right.
Nobody would know. And now everybody just saw me like
YouTubes.
almost throw up all over the microphone. So anyway, go down there and get you some good beers. And by the way, they're all good beers.
Yeah.
Like I have not had a bad one from them yet. And
They have a
tell 'em.
tasty IPA.
Yeah, it's delicious. And look, even though they're our sponsor, if they give me a bad beer, I'm going to let them know.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, y'all really missed the boat.
And they already said from the get-go, if you have a shitty beer, let us know.
Right.
Rate it fairly.
That's right. So
And we have.
Yeah, we haven't had a bad one. So I'll leave it with this. We got some exciting things happening this year, and we're going to continue to grow and get better. Probably not the content because, we're about as gold as you can get.
Yeah.
If you get any better, I think we'd be too popular.
Yeah.
So we're just going to...
We don't want to be too popular.
Kick it right where we're at. And we're super humble. So thank you all you guys that have been around from the very beginning. We appreciate your support very much more than you know. We love you very much. And all you new folks that have been listening, and we do have some newbies out there.
We do.
Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate you. Go over to the website, fwtgpodcast.com. You can leave reviews. You can send us emails. You can put your libation opinions up there. You can do anything that you want to do on the website. It's your
Send
burrito.
us a voicemail. We haven't had one of those in a bit.
That's true. We haven't had a voicemail in a bit.
That's true.
Go over there and send us a voicemail.
Yes.
Last but not least, let's thank the wives.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Thank you, ladies. I
Thank
appreciate your support. And thanks for allowing us the time and the finances to do this. And hopefully at the end of the year, y'all will vote yes for Pinewood and Beezy 2023.
Season 3.
All right, man, let's do some ponder.
All right, then.
Ponder this.
When you clean out a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, snap, son.
Dang!
That's
I
pretty.
tell you what.
That's a good one. I like that.
Well, folks, that is going to do it for episode 58 of Fraternize with these guys. I'm Beezy the Heathen.
I'm Pastor Pinewood.
Stay plumterable, friends. And remember, Mahomes lost because you didn't pray hard enough.
I will say one thing.
Okay.
As a pastor, I feel like I have some authority in this area. I think that you should pray over all the food when you get it home from the grocery store. Pray over it before you put it up, and then that way you save time.
So you don't have, after you prepare it and everything, you good to go?
It's already done been blessed.
Oh, snap.
And you don't have to, spend 45 minutes ovulating over your food.
I tell you what, I'm going to have you, I'm going to get a spritzer bottle.
Yeah.
I want you to bless some holy water next time later this week when I go get groceries. I get home.
Over the whole store?
So, no. I'm just spraying.
Oh,
Whenever
okay.
I get all the groceries back to my house, I'm going to spritz my groceries. Don't have to pray no more.
I thought you were going to the store and doing like the Oprah Winfrey. Like,
You got blessed. You got blessed. You got blessed.